called me up and said, Dr. Erickson, I want to apologize. I said, you don't need to. I'm very rude for you. And you were right all along. I was too stupid to know you were right. I said, damage has been done. What was the damage? She said, maybe you remember 12 years ago, I came to see you as a patient. You listened to my story, and then you told me that my darling 3-year-old boy would commit a crime in relationship to automobiles. I was so infuriated, and you dare to make that kind of prophecy about a 3-year-old boy. I walked out. I slandered you to a lot of people. And now my son's birthday will be next month. He'll be 15 years old. He's already been put out of detention for joyriding in a car, released on probation. Now he's stolen a car, and police are looking for him. He's broken probation to steal that car. And his 15th birthday will be next month. I want to apologize for treating you the way I did. I said, never mind the apology. I still think you need a bit of advice. I just pulled out your record. Your husband's birthday is coming up very soon. Don't loan him your car to get his driver's license renewed. Tell him to use his own car. I insist on it. He said, I will. The story of that patient was, she was a school teacher. He's married to a machinist and got paid more than she did. And he was obsessed with the idea he could build a superior car and all the automobile manufacturers put out. He bought a car, he threw away the fenders, and ordered some new fenders. And they didn't fit the hood, so he threw away the hood and ordered a new hood made to order. That didn't fit the fenders. And he ordered a new chassis, and that didn't fit the fenders or the hood. And each year, he got new engines, new parts, new tires, new axles, new driving shafts, new steering gears. And he made his wife pay his income tax out of her school teacher's earnings. He made her pay him his withholding tax. And she supported him and the boy, paid the taxes, her own income tax, his income tax. And he spent all his earnings on that car. He works on it every evening, every holiday, every Sunday. And the little boy never saw him. Literally a fatherless boy. And the father was very unkind to the boy. Keep your hands off that. Don't touch this. Don't touch that. I told the mother, a boy who sees his father that obsessed with a car and forbidden to share in it, and with a father who was no father interested in his son. Even that way, your son would grow up and commit a crime against automobiles before the age of 15. When the husband went to get a driver's license renewed, he passed the written test. And he went out to take his road driving test. The inspector Bloom said, "You mean you drove that car up here to get your driver's license?" And I said, "Yes." The inspector said, "I'm going to look it over." He opened the trunk, he looked inside the car, raised the hood, examined the engine, examined the wheels, the axles. He went to another inspector and said, "Come and look at this thing." The other inspector looked at it thoroughly. And the other inspectors went up to the man and said, "If we had seen you drive on the ground with that car, you'd have given you a ticket." I said, "Yes, we're going to notify the city police to be on the lookout for you. And we advise you to hire a tow truck. And we recommend that you either have a tow truck drive it out to the city dumping ground or sell it to a towing company for salvage." A man sold a car, a towing truck for salvage, and they generously gave him a ride home. Told his wife he wanted her car. He took the road test and got his driver's license renewed. Also, he said, "From now on, I'm going to turn over my paycheck to you. I'll turn over all of it. What's happened today has convinced me I've made a damn fool of myself for over 12 years. And I think that's what caused old Tommy to steal a car. And I'll make it up to you. He was a good husband. I don't know what happened to the boy. And 2 years later, I got a long-distance call, I think from Yellowstone Park, the teacher. He said, "After all these years, I've taken your advice. This summer, I'm taking a vacation. I'm not working as a practical nurse to pay my husband's income tax. I'm vacationing and having a wonderful time. I've enjoyed going back to teaching." Two very sad stories. Mm. That woman took her son's arrest and jar her into changing her mind. Some people have very rigid minds. And George, I look upon as a product of his parents and his mother. And George was classmate who asked me to look after his aunt, whom I made the African violet queen. Now, some bitch you're going to fail with. A German friend who left unexpectedly and left a letter. It deals primarily with schizophrenic patients, young schizophrenic. And he has misconception of hypnosis. He thinks hypnosis is a curative thing. Hypnosis is only a means of gaining cooperation. It doesn't cure anything. And she thought the Strassman of those letters could be cured. Now, she was looking at him as if he were schizoid. He isn't, he's neurotic. And treatment of neurotics differs from treatment of psychotic. Now, I tell you about changing from this world into a psychotic world.
No.
And John was a patient at Worcester. And John, a very gentle, polite, obedient patient. He never did anything wrong. Just wandered around, offending nobody. He returned your greeting, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. Now, he was brought to the hospital by the police. There's no identification in his clothes. Nobody ever called for him. He didn't know his name, nothing about him. He'd been there for years, just being polite and returning greetings and meeting hospital rules and regulations. I tried to get in communication with John, and he couldn't. And there's an awful lot of thinking about that. How could I change the world, or John and myself, that he would be afraid to talk to me? One day I took off my jacket, turned it inside out, and put it on backwards. I took off his jacket, turned it inside out, put it on backwards, buttoned out. That was a crazy thing to do. I asked John for his real name, where he was born. I got a history, mental examination. Thereafter, whenever I wanted to talk to John, I first took off my jacket, turned it inside out, put it on backwards. Did the same to him. You try to meet the patient at his own level. And people are so afraid of doing things. I've always getting in trouble with my superiors. As an intern, I was supposed to supervise a nurse giving a hypodermic injection. And a nurse could not do any intravenous work. He could not take blood pressure. I thought my superiors were old fogies. I thought a well-trained nurse could do a hypodermic injection without being supervised. I got a hold on the carpet and really balled out with that. So I protected myself, letting a nurse take blood pressure and a fellow intern take blood pressure at the same time on both the arm. Then I took the blood pressure. And he and I kept our records and we recorded the nurse's findings, her initials. He called me on the card and produced my record, was great in nursing and stayed together in turn, but also done it. He got the same rating as the nurses did. You should have put down your rating, not the nurses, her initials. I said nursing, blood pressure, well as doctors. And now we have paramedics who do independence, office resuscitation, all sorts of things. Right now, the East Coast and making awful fuss. Anybody who hasn't got a doctor's degree in psychology, dentistry, or psychiatry, using hypnosis. And sooner or later, the American society is going to hold me up for teaching hypnosis to people with master's degree. Now, if states license master's degrees to do psychotherapy, and I know they can do it, I'm going to defend myself by pointing out there's an old fogey. I don't see why you have to have a PhD in psychology. I know I started some of the work as being hailed as very important, but I didn't even have a college degree. I don't think a college degree does anything for anybody. It's nice to have. It answers a lot of stupid questions. Be sure you have the knowledge. You just see some of the application I get. I didn't get through grade school, but I'm interested in hypnosis. I want to do experimental work, healing and surgery. And I haven't even gotten through grade school. I think that I'll give you 2 other cases. When I was at Colorado Psychopathic Hospital, I heard the superintendent say, this hospital is for acute patients. And Teresa has been here for 3 years. I've done my level best to get her out. I lost. She could not stay here longer than 3 months. She's been here 3 years. I can't get any other hospital to accept her. I wish somebody asked Dr. Eva if I could work on Teresa. He said, yeah, you certainly can. You might as well learn. You can't do something in psychiatry. Teresa was a Mexican American. He worked on truck farms, doing soup labor, weeding, pulling onions, carrots, all that hard labor. And Teresa didn't like the low pay, the hard work, more food that she got. And she got a wonderful idea. Hysterical paralysis, both legs. And landed in Colorado Psychopathic Hospital. Was proper. But Teresa found life in the hospital. Wonderful, good food, no work. Nurses to socialize with, patients to socialize with. What more could you ask out of life? Good food, nice bed, no work, regular baths. You were even bathed. You didn't have to do it yourself. He had a very luxurious life. You can't blame her for not wanting to go back. So, for a week, every day, I told Teresa I was going to cure her. And Teresa always said, I hope so, doctor. And probably the next Monday morning, I'll start my cure. I'm sure it will work. I hope so. And Teresa had gone through several generations of doctors. Well, she looked surprised when next Monday morning he wheeled into the treatment room and saw on the floor a double mattress. I was standing on a mattress and holding in my hand 2 electrodes connected by wires to a small brown box. The nurse stood there. Now, having had polio, I knew all about galvanic electric currents and sinusoidal electric current. I said, these are things that are going to cure you, Teresa. Now, the nurse, he turned the switch, and caused a galvanic shock, knocked me flat on the mattress. He got up, took a second shot, picked myself up, got a third shot, picked myself up, and strapped him to her insteps. Gave her 3 shots. Actually, Teresa came to the treatment room with her arms around next to 2 nurses, dragging her feet. And said, see how much I've improved, doctor. Maybe you won't have to take any more medicine. I said, you have improved, Teresa. It shows that I'm on the right track. I'm going to increase the dosage. I increase the strength of the shocks. I took my 3 knockdown and gave her 3. Next morning, she walked in, pushing a chair along the floor, leaning on the back of the chair, and said, see, I've really improved. Maybe I won't have to take any more treatment. I said, you improved so much, it shows I'm really doing the right thing. So I'll increase the strength. I got knocked down 3 more times. Gave her her shots. On Friday, it didn't show up. Instead, she talked to a social service worker and taking her out for a walk. It's summertime. And later that day, the social worker looked me up and said, I feel like skinning you alive. I had to walk 10 miles with Teresa. I went to work in the garage with Teresa. I said, maybe I ought to give her just 1 more treatment, make sure. So, next morning, she ended up another social worker. That day, she walked 20 miles. Then it was Sunday. I went in to see Teresa. And Teresa said, I'm going home. I don't need any more treatment. I walked 20 miles yesterday. That proves. A year later, the social worker went out in that truck fire. I was working in the field. First question, Teresa asked, Dr. Erickson still in psychopathic hospital? Worker knew I was in Massachusetts. He said, oh yes. He liked his job in psychopathic hospital. He just sighed and went back to work. A year later, work call. This is working in the field. First cut, Dr. Erickson still there. Worker cheerfully said I was on the regular staff. I intended to stay. Please sighed and returned to work. Third year, Teresa had her baby lying on a blanket on the ground. How she worked. She was sure I was still on staff. Fourth year, she had 2 babies. She never asked if I were on staff. She was sure I was intending to remain on the staff the rest of my life. Years follow-up was enough. And you know, the nurses and the other doctors condemned me for treating Teresa that harshly. I assure you, those shocks were unpleasant. I took them. I'll be honest with Teresa. I wasn't giving her anything I wasn't willing to take. Another patient wrote out, superintendent remarked one morning, Louise has done it again, and we can't afford it. That woman costs us about $6,000 extra each year. And the hospital budget can't stand it. I inquired about Big Louise. She was charming. She was 6'6" tall, all muscle. And she was a bouncer in speakeasies in the Prohibition days. And she had a little hobby, a harmless little hobby, she thought. I like to go for long walks in Rhode Island, Providence. And whenever she saw a policeman alone, she beat him up and put him in the hospital. That's where she got her kicks. The chief policeman got so angry at losing him in the hospital, he went to court, had Louise declared insane and dangerous to others, and thus he got a commitment. And Louise knew she was not insane. She resented being locked up. About once a month, she knew about $500 worth of damage to the ward. $500 worth of damage each month to the ward. Very expensive. And Dr. Noyes said, told me about it. I said, can I take care of her? I'd be glad to do. You can do something for her. So far, all we've been able to do is call in about 20 attendants to overpower her and give her a shot of apomorphine. It makes her very sick to the stomach, and she'll vomit or spend her next 12 hours trying to vomit and feel very, very sick. And lock her in a secluded room, a mattress. He always tears up the mattress while she's vomiting or trying to vomit. It's horrible punishment. It's inhuman. I don't like to know it. I think I can take care of it. Louise puts the limits. He says, there are no limits except don't kill her. I went on board and introduced myself to Big Louise. And told him next time you've got a rampage coming on, notify the nurse. The nurse can telephone me. I would come down 15 minutes before she started her rampage. I would like to talk to her. I asked her to agree to sit down and talk to me. He said, while you're collecting, leaving orders to collect plenty of male attendants coming and overpowering. I finally got Louise to accept my word. I wouldn't interfere with her. Nobody would interfere with her if she'd just sit down, talk to me on a bench. I'd leave at the end of 15 minutes if she wanted me to. I would not interfere. One day the nurse called and said, Louise says she wants to talk to you. And I went down. Louise pacing back and forth on a bench. I sat down and said, sit down, Louise. He said, did you notify the attendants? Come in, get ready to overpower me. I said, no, Louise. Nobody's going to interfere with you. All I want of you is to talk to you. Now sit down. And so my first spring in New England, I talked about New England springtime, wintertime. And Louise was uneasy. And 10 minutes I gave a signal to the nurse, and in rushed a dozen or 20 student nurses, giggling like sin. And one of the student nurses grabbed a chair and started smashing the windows on the west side. And the student nurse grabbed a chair and started smashing the windows on the other side. Another broke the telephone off the wall. Four nurses rushed to a table, got all the light, and broke the lights off the table. And Big Louise jumped up and said, don't, girl, don't, please don't. And I had told the nurses they had to do at least $500 worth of damage. And Big Louise rushed around, begging the nurses not to. She saw her own behavior for the first time. And the nurses were really enjoying it. They had permission to have a lark. Yeah, so they giggled and kept on smashing things. A couple months later, Big Louise said, Dr. Erickson, I'm locked up on the board here a lot of loony women. I can't stand it being locked up with a lot of loony women. Crazy as can be. Can you do anything to get me out of this war? I said, Louise, I can get you a job in the hospital laundry. You were sent there once before and did someone damage. And they're all afraid of you. You'll give me your word, I'll arrange for you to go to the hospital laundry. He did. 2 months later, the hospital discharged her as a patient and hired her to manage the laundry. There was a 6'6" carpenter on hospital maintenance staff. He looks at Big Louise, found her good to look upon. He got married. They had their usual married couple tips. They enjoyed a 6-pack of beer every Saturday night and made 1 or 2 6-packs on Sunday. And for 15 years, Louise managed that laundry. Just get a patient to look at the South, and they are completely unmanageable. Of course, everybody thought, how did damn fool tell the nurses to smash things up? And Dr. Noyes was very grateful to me. Then at Worcester, Dr. Bryan, superintendent, one morning had a seminar on administrative psychiatry. Mark, I wish someone would come along and left brain, put a stop to Ruth. I inquired. Ruth was a 12-year-old patient, state hospital. She was a pretty girl, very sweet, very adorable. She was actually a menace to society. All new nurses that were hired are warned. Don't ever try to do Ruth a favor, because she'll do plenty of damage to you when you don't expect it. I learned that a new nurse, you put it on Ruth's ward, had fallen for Ruth despite warning, and Ruth had begged so piteously for an ice cream cone. And I was pleased to go to the hospital store and buy her just one little ice cream cone. And Ruth was so piteous and so pleading, as a darling little child. The nurse went and bought the ice cream cone, and Ruth shook it and thanked her very charmingly and gave her a karate chop and broke her arm. He liked to rip his uniforms off and I was kicking the shin or jumping their toes. Ruth was a menace. And Dr. Bryan mentioned he wished somebody come with an idea. I told him I would like to take charge of Ruth. I went in the office and I outlined my plans. And he said, by Jove, I think that will work. And I know just for the nurse to help you. I got a call. Ruth was on the rampage. Tearing up the room, tearing plaster off the wall. On the way to the ward, I called the engineer, told him to turn off steam heat to that ward. I went up to the ward to that room. I helped Ruth tear off plaster. I helped her break her legs off the bed. I helped her tear the sheets too, the blankets in two. Like, as if that were all the damage we could do. I said, Ruth, I think that you both try hard. You can pull that thing register away from the wall and twist off the pipe. Almost jumped at the idea. When you did break the pipe, the seat was turned off, the alarm done. I said, well, there's no more damage we can do in here. Let's go on down hall to another room on the hallway. I said that nurse, the superintendent, tells, of course. He all said good morning to her. I stepped up to her, put my finger in there, and removed her uniform and her slip-off. And there she stood in her panties, her stockings, and her bra. And Ruth screamed, Dr. Erickson, you shouldn't do anything like that. He ran in the broom, got a torn sheet, wrapped it around the nurse. That's the last time Ruth went on a rampage. Next time she had someone come over her, she escaped from the hospital, got pregnant, carried the baby, gave it up at birth to adoption, voluntarily, and re-entered the hospital, explained what she'd done, said she'd be a good girl, and she was. Was charged. About 9 months later, got married, and for at least 4 years, he's a very excellent wife and mother. All because I came in for a birthing nurse. And they all thought that we were lying when the superintendent, nurse, and I tried to explain it was a prearranged thing. And nobody would believe a nurse was standing for a doctor ripping her clothes off. And he kept her in dress.
Dr. Erickson, I've got a question about hypnosis. I think at one point you said that deep trance is something that people that are not doctors shouldn't get involved with. Did I misunderstand you saying that, or did you say something?
I say that deep hypnosis is not always necessary. A light trance does a lot of things for you. You can use it very extensively. But when you come to somebody like Anne in Boston State, if she was going to commit suicide, I took no attention. I wanted deep trance. I didn't want Anne to know what I was doing. I didn't want the audience to know. I did want to make very powerful impressions on her. And I apparently did.
My question had to do with the lowering of the pulse rate and the breathing rate. I mean, is somebody really, is it possible for somebody to go into such a deep trance that it's hard for them to come out of it? Or is there a point beyond which?
You mean plenary trance. You put a person into so deep a trance If their heart rate drops down to 6, our breathing down to 10 times, if a unit of 16 a minute, and it usually takes them about 1/2 hour to come out of trance. And the operator literally dies for about half an hour.
One dies for half an hour?
Yeah, it's longer. Hypnotist.
Well, I've done experiments of work with pulmonary trances very cautiously. I found out it's a painful experience. And when they get reconnected, reassociate all parts of their body, it comes as an awful shock, and a painful shock. And once you heard a hypnotic subject, unless you have very strong rapport with them, you lose that subject. The superintendent of Boston State Hospital was once, his wife was one of my subjects. An excellent subject. She always had a headache when I awakened her. The experiment data showed I should give her 5 minutes in which to wake up. Otherwise, she would have a headache, a splitting headache. When I found that out, I started checking with other subjects. Now, in teaching, I don't care if my subject get a headache. They'll tell me next day. I'll tell me if they had a bad dream. Because they're here to learn. And when they learn by personal experience, they're wiser. I know I'm not going to harm them. I want them to know that these things can happen. I've hypnotized at least 30,000, 40,000 people. And done plenty of experimental work. Just so I don't forget it, tell me tomorrow, I'll tell you about U.S. Naval Academy graduate.
Okay.
Now that's a fascinating case. Now, hypnosis itself doesn't do anything. And it gives you a favorable climate in which to work.
Dr. Erickson, what do you recommend for learning the techniques of hypnosis? Who do you recommend going to for that? I live in the Santa Fe area. I'm a particular person or some kind of...
In the first place, develop your own technique. Don't try to use somebody else's technique. And you can have them look at an object and discuss learning, write the letters of the alphabet. That's the easiest technique. And tell them to relax as a conscious stream. You get tired, that's conscious. Go to sleep, that's conscious command. Well, I talk about difficulties learning to write the letters of the alphabet. And just naturally go into trance. Now don't try to imitate my voice or my cadence. Just discover your own. Being your own natural self. I've seen dozens and scores of men try to imitate me. It's a hollow pretense. Your patient knows it. You talk very rapidly, do so. You talk very softly, do so. You talk slowly, do so. Be yourself and develop your own technique. I've seen lots and lots of failures on attempts to follow my techniques or somebody else's techniques. It's the individual responding to the individual. I want to work with you. I keep you in mind. I work with you, I keep you in mind. With you, it'd be you I'd be thinking about. I would try to understand your own behavior. And I would be just my own natural self. I experienced it with trying to do things the way somebody else would do it. It's a mess. You want to know what kind of mess it is? Go into my desk and bring out that picture on that side of the desk.
Top drawer?
No, beside the desk.
You know, I wanted to tell you on the first day I was here, you know, you gave me the picture to climb Squaw Peak.
And that picture is about 20 inches wide.
This one?
No, the picture on the floor beside the desk. Yeah.
You gave me the picture of taken from the top of Squaw Peak. Last year when I was here, I got 3/4 of the way out and I really panicked. I got very scared, which is why I mentioned to you in the note that I was frightened. So we climbed Squaw Peak the next morning. And every time I would get to the place where I was frightened, that picture just came right into my mind.
I can't find a picture of the floor.
It's standing alongside the desk.
What's it?
Oh, nice. Yes.
Moral is don't send a man to a woman's job. As you can see, it's a heap of powder on it. What a mess.
Wait.
That's beautiful. Look at all the creatures in there.
That's something else.
Joined by Kate and Worship, Eugene Murphy.
Well, I get the point.
And you know, some easiest parts for pictures to see are often overlooked.
Some of the easiest, what?
Easiest parts to see
Yes.
are often overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
For example, do you see that cat?
Yes.
Laura?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So many people have missed that cat He missed the elephant. He missed the ape over here.
Mm-hmm.
Elephants over there.
And a walrus. Okay.
The snake, the doves.
Lion.
Oh, I just
A
saw
lion
the
or
lion.
tiger?
Lion on the forehead?
Yeah, I'm running.
And every neurotic patient presents you that kind of picture. I think a picture like this belongs in every psychotherapist's office. It's so intriguing, and it takes the person outside the cell, and they start looking for new ideas. And you get them looking for new ideas, you open their mind. And they thought you were showing them a picture.
Become a photographer.
I see what happens when you turn sideways.
All right.
You get a new view of it.
Yeah. Can you turn? Do you want to turn it over that way? Oh yeah.
I'll show you something else. You go this way. Get new views. You look at this way. Get new views. Always look at the picture, all four sides.
Children are very good at finding little hidden faces.
And adults look at it right side out. They can't find things. Remind me of this tomorrow. I'll give you a case history of how looking at a picture determined a successful career for a woman. I think that's a good finish with the film.
Yes.
Apparently, the only time I lecture well is when I have bugs on me.
Few more setups.
That's gonna be on tape forever.
Hello.
Hi. How are you, Miss Tussle?
What is it today?
Miss Tussle.
Becoming a little bit more.
Isn't delightful to see how you distrust me? I say it's delightful the way you mistrust me.
You call me mistrust.
So where did the pictures go? They were on the other side?
The pictures are on the desk.
Oh, yeah.
When Mike gets here, Betty,
What?
when Mike gets here,
Yeah, I was thinking of Mike too.
we'll have him do stained glass for that.
Our teenage grandson that just got into stained glass. Really carried away with it. He really did carry away with it.
So you didn't understand what I said, huh? You didn't understand what I said. The other day, you called me Miss Trustful. And so today I said I'm becoming more of mistrustful.
But you're still sitting as far away as you can.
This is the most comfortable place in the room.
And this would be the least comfortable.
I find it comfortable here. And look at the wood carvings here.
Japan.
No.
Can I give you one more bug?
I'm not disputatious like you are.
Not what?
Disputatious.
Oh, you're not? I don't know about that.
You can dispute anything, yes.
You're right. Well, you told me to do that. That's part of my strength, huh?
I hope all of you looks at this picture. Things are not what they seem until you really look at them. And patients are not what they look like until you really look at them. Some of you know this. I'd like to have you each read it, but don't betray your understanding of it. I'll say that again. Read it, but don't betray your understanding I said, don't betray your understanding. You're really not that slow in the pickup. Did you read the words on that? What?
Something about read everything enclosed in the parentheses in every possible way.
And what were the parenthetical expressions?
2 sets of numbers with lots of 7, 7, 10, 7,
710, 7734. And that's what you read. Oh, I think use the word hell in the classroom. An often excellent word to use that's surrounding you. What's that?
Not even with his help. He turned it over.
I attempted.
And you didn't pick up on that. When you look at things in every possible way, you see a lot more. Now you'll see some other structures there. And you keep turning that around. Well, let's just illustrate it. One example. Mrs. Erickson and I were in Mexico City, and we were invited to the home of the dentist for dinner. And during the dinner, the dentist very proudly told us his wife was an excellent artist. And she very modestly poo-pooed the idea. He said she did a little sketchy, but by no means could she be regarded as an artist. The dentist insisted she was an artist, and against her wishes, brought out half a dozen sketches she had made. And around the border, all around the border of each sketch, she made a lot of curlicues as a sort of frame, a border, ornamental border of curlicues. And I looked at the sketch, I turned it, looked at it this way, it's puzzled very much this way, then this way. I took a small piece of paper, tore a hole in it, the size of my little fingernail, and laid it on the border. And both saw a very well drawn miniature face concealed in that border. I moved it up, there's another one. There were hundreds of faces in the border, different expressions, miniatures that fitted into the curlicues. So at first sight, you couldn't see them. And I told her, anybody who is so clever in sketching that she can draw miniature faces by the hundreds and not know about it really is an artist. And now she's a well-known artist in Mexico. She's the head of the art gallery in Mexico City. Just because
She didn't know that she had drawn all the little...
She didn't know she put all those faces there. And it took some doing to do that many well-drawn miniature faces. You need to look at only a few of the pictures here. Because I want to impress upon you that when you look at one side of a story, you turn around, look at it from the other side, it's a totally different story. What does it read there?
The first one, it says, here is a German farmer dressed in a curious rig and looking rather sad because he's lost his fattened pig.
Well, that's a nice, pretty little girl, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And turned over. No. She's not a pretty girl. I'll pass it along. You didn't know girls look like that, did you?
I know it's. Oh, yeah.
In marital counseling, husband tells you a very straightforward story, very convincing. Then his wife tells you another story, very convincing. Same story from different points of view. And therefore you should be careful about your interpretation. Hard work guessing sometimes what the story looks like from the other side. Now, how many newcomers are here today? Aren't you a newcomer? Did you comb your hair differently?
Glasses. But I never had before.
Yeah. Sign a slip of paper before you leave.
Dr. Erickson, we were going to go back to Santa Fe last night. We were supposed to go back last night. And the reason that I decided to stay an extra day is after being here for 4 days with you, I still don't know, or I don't know that I know what hypnosis is or what a trance is.
Miss Disputatious there. I'd be glad to tell you.
This who?
Disputatious.
Oh,
But,
Tell them what a trance is.
For me, it was like meditation. I was, but more relaxed than I've ever been because my body didn't really feel numb. But I was completely aware of everything that was going on to the point that when my tape, I knew my tape wasn't recording, and I was having this conflict about whether to ask somebody to turn it over or to just let it go. And I decided to let it go because I didn't know if I was really in a trance. And if I talked about my tape, then I wouldn't be in a trance. It would mean I wasn't in a trance. And I also thought you might disapprove of that. And so I do have some regrets about not dealing with the tape. It was very peaceful, but I was completely in control of everything I was doing and saying. I remember it all, and it was one of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had. I didn't feel like he had me in his power at all. But I felt a great sense of trust. And there was nothing about me was changed. It was exaggerated. I do have a great need to please people, and it was there with him.
Then why did you steal me?
Because you told me to in the trance, or you gave me permission to, and I wanted to do that anyway.
Well, are you awake right now?
Yes, I believe that.
Sure. Do you know?
Yes. I don't have that same feeling that I had before when I was sitting over there before.
You don't?
No. My body's not completely relaxed. The more you look at me.
How long before you close your eyes?
I don't know how long I can hold out.
All right, a trance is one state of awareness. And waking is another state of awareness. In trance state, you can be aware of anything you wish and unaware of anything you wish. Now, she was aware of her tape recorder. And did I say anything about her not attending to her tape recorder?
No.
Yet she wanted to. Why didn't she? There's a certain inertia. She was comfortable where she was. As for your tape recording, you've got that in the back of your head, only you don't know it.
That's very reassuring.
How are you getting along, Mary?
Good.
You're still teaching your husband how to play handball or racket?
Well, we're still playing. I don't teach him much, but we're still
Because he can't learn much,
playing.
or you have too much to teach him.
He likes to teach himself. He doesn't like me to tell him stuff about it. I scored a few things in though, just anyway.
How many times has he beaten you?
None.
I think you've got a lot to learn.
She's taking a clinic though. She's taking a racquetball clinic and she learns by videotape. She really goes at it.
Yep.
I only play once a week.
So that's your excuse.
You sound like my father.
All right. How do you explain your willingness to hold your arm up like that?
Now or then?
Then,
I just wanted to be very receptive to you.
now how did you know how to do it exactly right?
Because you held it up for me. You took my hand. I remember I was sitting there and you took my hand and you held it up in what you said was an awkward position. It was sort of like this, but it felt very comfortable.
Was I misstating facts?
Pardon?
Was I misstating facts?
Are you misstating the facts?
When I said it was a very awkward position.
doesn't feel awkward. Okay, this, like this, is a little bit more comfortable. But this, it's still there. That anesthesia's still there.
What anesthesia?
It's not uncomfortable.
Well, what do you mean, that anesthesia?
The trance, the
Did I suggest anesthesia to you?
yes, you did.
How?
You told me to dissociate my head from my neck up, from the rest of my body.
Where did your head go?
It went into a beautiful balloon in the sky, hot air balloon, with your voice.
And left your body down here?
Uh-huh. How come I'm still holding my hand like
Now do you think you can get any reasonable person to believe that your head went off in a hot air?
No, I'm not. I would never tell those people about this. No.
So it's really experience to you.
Yes. Yes, I believe it. That's the most important thing.
All right. Who else has been in a trance? And your head go up in a balloon? So where did she get that balloon?
It's hers.
It's mine. I want to go in a balloon. That's something I will do in the conscious state too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether my body will be dissociated. Maybe I'll do that when I get in the balloon.
And you left your body sitting here.
Yes.
How did the balloon get through the ceiling?
I didn't worry about that. It just went.
It just
no,
went.
The balloon was already there. The balloon was up there waiting for me, and I joined it.
How? You just butt your way through the ceiling?
There you go again. But I didn't have to. My spirit went up there.
What if your spirit comes and sits here?
Okay. Oh, I see. All right. My spirit will be there.
Call your body back there, do.
What will it do? Just sit here. Keep sitting in the chair. Relaxing.
And your spirit is here.
Uh-huh.
Now, which one of us is his baloney bin?
Well, probably me. You have a lot more respect in the community.
You mean I've been to the baloney bin?
No. I think you're immune to them.
And what are you thinking right now?
Oh, I was just looking at your eyes and feeling good.
What?
Feeling good.
And how do my eyes make you feel good?
I don't know.
Mary, what happens when you go into a trance?
A lot of things. Sometimes I can remember, and sometimes I can't. But I go lots of places. Sometimes I hear what you say, and a lot of times I don't hear what you say. If I were supposed to repeat it, word for word.
All right. Trance state. using your brain so that you can entertain any thought and give reality to that thought, to that memory. The same way that you can dream at night, have a very nice dinner somewhere with friends. A friend you would like to see and you haven't seen for years. In your dream at night, you can go out to dinner with them and really enjoy that steak or the 100-year-old eggs or whatever you choose. You hear them, you see them, you feel them, you talk to them, they talk to you. What's taking place is that your memories are being substituted for current stimuli. One dream that I have frequently is I always wake up I'm walking uphill from the pasture back on the farm in Wisconsin. It's midwinter and the snow is above my knees in depth. And I'm plowing my way up the hill through that fresh snow. I'm tired, my feet are cold. I'm hoping to get up to the top of the hill so I can go in the house and get warm. I keep getting colder and colder. And finally I awaken. And then I discover a blanket's not covering my feet. And that hill was real I was climbing. And my feet were really cold. Extremely poor circulation. And what? That coldness was a genuine thing. Snow, wintertime, farm, are far removed by many years. And besides, I had those cold feet. As I awakened, I knew I was in Arizona. And there is no snow in this part of Arizona. I could see the fence posts, the box elder trees, everything. In the dream, I was unable to distinguish between reality and memories. Memories came alive. I mentioned before, all of you can stand up and walk. You can talk. You can write. At one time, the art of standing up was very, very conscious in every detail. You had to consciously reach up the edge of the playpen. You had to consciously pull yourself up. You had to consciously discover how farther apart your feet were, more stable you were. You had to consciously become aware that your knees would bend and that to stand up, you'd have to keep them straight. All of that was conscious. And now you walk down the street and you never think about body balance. You alternate your feet. And you walk with your feet as close together as you want to. You balance your body. When you first tried to balance your body, that was a very, very conscious endeavor. And now you don't consciously keep your body balanced until you try to walk a rail fence. And then you discover all the difficulties you once had a long time ago. As we're talking, at first you made noises, and you discovered other people made noises. And they seemed to be very repetitious. And finally, to the great delight of your parents, you managed to make the same sound twice and say, ma, ma. And that was a long, hard, difficult task to learn consciously. And now you can read aloud from a book and say mama without any conscious effort. A trance state, an altered state of awareness in which you have ready access to a lot of memories, learnings consciously made, experientially made, that you don't really know anything about. Now, you offer somebody a piece of candy, and they take it. And they peel the candy, you see the candy, they can smell the candy, but there's no real candy given to them. They start to eat it enjoyably. And their saliva glands secrete the correct saliva or carbohydrates. In teaching at Phoenix College, Susan was an excellent subject. She was the clerk of my class, and she was surprised when I asked her to come up in front and act as a subject. She told me she couldn't go into a trance. I had her look at the back wall of the classroom. I told her to see the Superstition Mountains there. And she tried hard to hallucinate the mountains. She said, I'm sorry, Dr. Erickson. I just can't see the Superstition Mountains there. It's just a plain wall. And college student, I asked him, where she liked to eat. And she named a certain restaurant. I asked her why you like that restaurant. Because they serve chicken so frequently. And she liked the way they seasoned the chicken. Well, then I said, any other attractor? He said, oh yes, guitarist who plays the guitar throughout the dining hours. I said, is that the guitarist? He said, yes. I said, is the chicken good? He started chewing chicken. I said, see the mountains? And Dr. Erickson, I can't see the mountains on that bare wall. And the chicken good, very good. Described the guitarist to me. He gave a good description. I asked for a description of the restaurant. He described the restaurant out in front. The guitarist sat over in that corner. He liked to sit near him. He liked to eat her chicken. He couldn't see the audience. You could just see the rest. But you couldn't see the mountains on the back wall. And when I awakened her, he sat there looking puzzled. And finally she said, Dr. Erickson, how did that taste of chicken get in my mouth? I said, it's when you listen to the guitarist over there. You start chewing chicken again. And she couldn't see the Superstition Mountains on the back wall. That was a classroom back wall. She couldn't see the class or hear them. In other words, over her attention, directed to the wall as a reality. And then all the rest was replaced by memories. Memories of actual experiences.
Is that why when you have a dream, a repeated dream that is negative, it's because it's a memory of a real experience?
Not the memory of a negative thing. It is quite often distant, a partial understanding of a past event.
Is it a correct understanding?
Do you know how many pretty girls I've kissed in my dreams?
I'd say hundreds, if not thousands.
And their kisses were very warm.
Yes.
I've kissed more girls in my dreams than I have in my waking life.
So that's a partial understanding of the girls you kissed in your waking life?
The girls I kissed I never met for a partial understanding. Because I believe in letting your mind roam and think and understand anything. When I first read about the Eskimos and how they rub noses, I recall a dream of being in an igloo and rubbing noses with an Eskimo girl. And certainly seemed curious to me because she apparently enjoyed it. I was just wondering about that. And when I found out that the old Japanese way of kissing was to rub noses, and this is a long time ago, I went to sleep wondering about that type of human behavior. So, I explored it in my dreams. I took the understanding I got from the book and turned it into a dream reality. I walked on the Sahara Desert, just wondering what it feels like to walk on the Sahara Desert barefoot. I also dream about living with pygmies and eating caterpillars and beetles, which the pygmies say are very delicious. I found they were delicious. Now, that was a reconstruction of my conscious reading into an understanding of my unconscious mind. Because caterpillars and beetles, you thoroughly enjoy a large group of people. They must have a delicious taste. And I assure you, not since I can remember have I ever eaten a beetle or a caterpillar. I know adventurous American children, your own, in fact, you have to watch them, keep them eating spiders, bugs and flies, everything. See, in an effort to understand people, you listen to them, hear them. You know, you've never had that experience. You read about people, and you really want to understand it. Or you dream it as an experience. And you've had a lot of practice and experience, a lot of things, all of which you don't know about. A lot of them. I'm the first one to tell you, I think, you have 3 different kinds of saliva according to what you're eating. And it took you about 2 months to learn how to shed tears. There was a time when you were hungry and crying because you were hungry, and your mother picked you up and patted you on the tummy, put you back to bed, and said you'd been stimulated. You thought you'd had a good meal. You started to go to sleep, and then hunger pangs struck you again. And you, though you couldn't say the words, you could have the feeling. That meal didn't stick to my ribs very long. You started crying again. Your mother picked you up, patted you on the back. It tasted like a good meal. Put you back in bed. You started to go to sleep, and another hunger pang hit you. And you said, the meals served here are very short in duration. They just don't stick to your ribs. After a while, you learned what sticking to your ribs meant. And little children, they commit, let's say an actual example. My daughter tore a page in a book. He knew she'd done wrong. The next morning, she awakened and told us that her sister had torn the book to us and showed us the book with a torn page. Now, she had learned that it's wrong to tear pages in the book. Apparently, she hadn't tried to tear the book. It was an accident on her part. And it gave her guilt. And nobody likes guilt. So she went through a dream process in which she shifted the guilt to her sister. And those hiccups, I don't know why my wife seasons my breakfast with hiccups. All right. I mentioned, did I tell you about the girl with the airplane phobia? Even those who've heard the story will need their mind refreshed. In 1972, had no appointments at Monday. I was in the house. Doorbell rang. Young woman in her mid-30s came in. And she said, Dr. Erickson, I have an airplane phobia. And this morning my boss said, on Thursday you fly to Dallas and return by air on Saturday, or you lose your job. And I like my job. I don't want to lose my job. Now I'll tell you the whole story. In 1962, an airplane I was on, I had the same job then I have now. Airplane I was on crashed. No real damage was done to the plane, and nobody on board was hurt. And we were all scared. And the next trip I made, I didn't think anything about it. I boarded the plane, taxied out to the end of the runway. At the moment the plane took off, I found I was scared. And I felt air turbulence continuously till we reached an intermediate stop. Plane landed. I felt entirely comfortable. Plane taxied to the airport, then taxied back to the end of the runway and took off. And the air turbulence began. I got more and more frightened. I continued to use the plane for 5 more years. And each time the plane took off, I became more and more frightened. And it's always a nice rest from my fright. The plane landed at an intermediate stop. And then I don't have to take off again. And I judged the onset of my phobia. I did that for 5 years, and by that time I was shaking so violently all over. And when I arrived at my destination, I had to go to bed and sleep for 8 hours before I could do my work. And I simply couldn't take it physically. I began using my vacation time, my sick time, and my allowable absentee time to enable me to travel to various places in the United States to do my job of computer programming. And this morning, however, the boss said, you're not going to stand for that nonsense anymore. I would have to fly a plane. And Thursday morning, I got aboard a plane and go to Dallas and return by plane on Saturday. And it makes me sick to think about it. How can you hypnotize me and cure me of my airplane phobia? I told her, first of all, I don't know if you're a good hypnotized subject. She said she was in college. I said, that was a long time ago. So she agreed that I could put her in a trance to see if she were a good hypnotic subject. That's a very good thing to do with patients. Don't base your therapy upon the use of hypnosis. First, use your hypnosis to find out if they can be hypnotized. And patients are usually willing to agree to that. You're just finding out one little unimportant thing. If you hypnotize them in relationship to their neurosis, a great big value is concerned. And they may resist you again and again because of their neurosis. And create a situation when it's just a simple test. And just to test the ability to go into hypnosis, that's unimportant. And so you get your patient in trance. And once in trance, you discover how good a subject they are, how responsive, and you know what kind of calls you could make upon them. I awakened her from the trance, told her she was an excellent subject. I couldn't start therapy until I really knew how she behaved on a plane. I told her I'd have to put her in a trance, have her hallucinate being on a jet plane on the way to Boston. And she agreed to that. It's just a test. And trying to say hallucinating herself aboard a plane. That violent shuddering of her entire body took place. It was not a very pretty picture. I hastily had her hallucinate the landing of the plane, and she immediately became comfortable. She told me about how she had kept her appointments previously by traveling in a closed car, in a bus or a train, and she couldn't stand airplane. Then told her one other test I'd have to give her. She should think it over very carefully. I told her, you're an attractive young woman, decidedly attractive. And I am a man. I am in a wheelchair. That doesn't tell you how handicapped I am. So I want you to promise me that if I treat you, you will agree to do anything, good or bad, and I may ask of you, and think that over. It's pretty inclusive. You're an attractive girl. I'm a man. You don't know how badly handicapped I am.